Perfect. So, hello everyone. Hope you've all had a lovely day so far. It's great to see so many of you here as always. Social events is our plan and our topic of discussion this call. I'm going to deep dive with all of you on how to not only go out on the weekends, still do fun things, not have to become a complete hermit, but not only that, do it in a way that's sustainable, that means that you don't lose any of your progress. This is a big, big thing. You guys know this. The working week feels incredibly different to the weekend, right? The weekend is harder in a lot of ways. You've got a lot more time to think about food, to think about your progress, to think about your calorie deficit and all that sort of stuff. People want to see you, people want to do things. So we're going to deep dive into this today. And I want you all to come away from this call with a very clear and laid out system on how to tackle these events and get the best of both worlds. Not only enjoy your life and have a good time, but still make insane progress inside this program. And there really is the potential to do both. But before we dive into that, I just have a couple of housekeeping bits that I want to go through with you this week. Tomorrow, Adam and I are hosting a masterclass. It's at 7 o'clock UK time. Same process as this. It's going to be a presentation, which we're going to talk through. It's going to be on Zoom. We will send the link into the channel, into the updates group chat at 7 tomorrow. All of you guys are welcome. We've opened it up to the public. We've got some lovely ladies coming who are not in the program, who want some help. And we're going to run through an exact protocol on the three pillars and the exact roadmap that you need to lose a lot of weight, very at a very minimum 20 kilos. All the stuff that we'll talk about is stuff that we teach all of you guys that you have in the program. But regardless, you'll get loads out of it. And it's going to be an hour and it's going to kind of be a crash course on everything. So whether you're new here or whether you've been here for a while, it's either good to deep dive and kind of get that masterclass and get an abundance of knowledge at the start of your journey. Or if you've been here for a while, it's just good to have a refresh, just good to have a catch up, go back over some of the basics again. So that's what we're going to go for. And everything that we offer to the public, you guys are, of course, invited to. If you want to bring someone along as well, someone in your life that you think would benefit, let us know. We can invite them in, we can get them a link. But that'll be tomorrow. The next thing is check-ins next Friday. So, Adam and I are getting married in August, but the actual legal paperwork, we are having our legal ceremony and going to the courthouse next Friday on the 29th. As a result, we're taking Friday off. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, instead of replying to you guys on a Friday for your weekly check-in, I'm going to reply to some of you on Thursday, and then I'm going to reply to the rest of you guys on Saturday morning. That is simply because we are getting legally married on the Friday, and we're taking the full day completely off so that we can be really present and enjoy that day. Hope you guys can understand that. It's literally just a small thing. There's like 15 people, and it's basically signing all the documents, and then the main wedding is in August. But we're taking that day off. If you guys don't get a reply on your check-in on Friday next week, do not panic. That just means that I'm coming to you on Saturday morning and I will get through them as fast as I can. Hope you guys can understand, but this is just an announcement now. I will post this in the group as well. The final thing, this is completely unrelated, but all the women here on this call tonight, I want to re-go over what I posted in the group a few weeks ago. And this is about magnesium supplement. The reason why I'm doing this as a public service announcement is because it's a bit of a game changer, just in case you guys have missed it, or maybe you weren't here when I announced it. So it's basically about, for all of you ladies or all of you guys that have periods, you know how it is the week before, building up to your period, difficult time, cravings go wild, PMS really kicks in. There is loads of science to suggest now that taking a magnesium supplement and doubling your dose the week before your period, when you start to get those symptoms, massively helps with cravings, food noise, PMS, mood swings, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of evidence to suggest it's been really effective. I've started to take it. It's been pretty game changing for me, I'll be honest with you. And this is why I'm banging on about it so much. It's been game changing for me. I know that a lot of you ladies have already tried it in the program and you've said it's also been game changing. So I'm going to keep banging on about it because I think all of you ladies would really benefit from taking it and it would really help you. So I'm just going to put it out there again. In terms of specific brands, it doesn't matter too much. I always say go for My Protein. My Protein is such a good company to buy from because it's really affordable. They do loads of sales, loads of discounts. Their products are good, they're well made, they're reliable, they have good reviews. So I'd recommend going for that and getting a magnesium supplement there. Not only does it help with sleep, but it's meant to massively help with that. So that is a big PSA for all of you ladies into the chat. And for you guys listening as well, maybe there's a lady in your life that would benefit from that. That's all the housekeeping bits. Let's dive into the main part of the call now. So, talking about social events, this is why social events feel so difficult and why they might feel really difficult for you right now. It usually means that there's more food, more drink, a lot less routine, a lot less control over your food, and there is also pressure to just enjoy yourself as well. This is where many people feel that they've either got to be 100% perfect, they cannot come off plan at all, and they cannot stray, or they go the opposite and they go completely off track and they let one meal out completely derail them of progress, throw them off their game, and as a result, halt their progress in this program. But whether you realize it or not yet, there absolutely is a middle ground. You can have the best of both worlds. You can still go out for dinners. You can go to things. You don't have to say no to everything and become a hermit. You still can go to things and you can make great progress. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this call. And I'm going to give you a social events toolkit, essentially. So we're going to go through these one by one. But the goal for meals out and for this whole process isn't perfection. It never is. You don't have to be perfect. Nothing you do needs to be perfect ever in this process. The goal isn't perfection, and it's not avoiding all social events just because you want to try and lose weight, not never eating out, and it's not saying no to everything. The goal is still being able to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life, staying intentional, minimizing damage when we go out and do things as much as possible, and as fast as possible, returning to normal afterwards. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, this is how to go out, still have fun, and make amazing progress all at the same time. The first thing, and I would recommend you guys make notes on this because a lot of this stuff is honestly super useful and game changing. And there's not enough of this information just ready available out there for people that are trying to lose weight. I try and do my bit on my Instagram page and share this info as much as possible. Um, Make notes on this because this took me years to learn. First thing is calorie banking. So, what I want you to think about, the mindset shift I want you to make first of all, is not viewing your calories as a daily calorie target anymore. I want you to view them as a weekly target. For example, if you are on 1800 calories a day, this is just a random number. If you're on 1800 calories a day, rather than thinking of them as 1800 a day, I want you to instead times that by 7 for 7 days of the week. You now have a weekly goal of 12,600 calories. The reason why this is so good is because it is going to give you more freedom, more flexibility, and less stress when you do have meals out, when you do have things that are off plan and mean that you aren't at home having your usual meals. Once you've done this, this allows you to start calorie banking for meals out. Let's say, for example, it's Monday. You have a meal out on Saturday. So you've got 5 days. What I would recommend for the meals that you know about in advance is to calorie bank and save some calories from your weekly goal to then use as extra on that meal out. I would always recommend just banking 100 to 200 calories per day, an absolute maximum. I would not recommend doing any more because yes, we can have flexibility with the weekly calories, but I don't want you guys massively chronically underfueling during the week and just saving calories for the weekend because that is a one-way ticket to restrictive eating patterns, possible binging, and it's also going to make life much harder for you if you're doing that all the time. So 100 to 200 a day, for example, if you do that on Monday, if you did that for 5 days, you would have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 calories extra to play with when it comes to your meal out. When you do this, when you bank these calories, I would recommend trying to take it more from your carbs and your fats, trying to not take any of it or too much of it from your protein where possible. The reason is, you know this, I talk to you guys about this all the time. Protein keeps you full. It's the most filling out of your three macronutrients, out of protein, carbs, and fats. It's also going to make sure that you are primarily losing fat and not too much muscle tissue. So it's going to really help you with that fullness. So I would recommend banking them from that rather than the protein. So I want you to focus on that first of all. This is a really, really game-changing, great thing that you have in your toolkit. And like I said, this took me years to learn. When I was at the start of my journey trying to lose weight and trying to lose fat, I didn't know about this. And social events and meals out would just throw me off all the time, and I didn't know why. And when I finally learned this, this was game-changing for me. So your calories are a weekly target instead of daily. And what this requires is you to just plan ahead and be organized. And this is often half the battle with all of this journey. It's just being willing to be a bit organized and plan ahead. So it's about doing that and thinking, okay, I've got a meal out on Saturday. I'm going to have more calories. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bank 100 calories a day or 150 a day or 200 a day at a max. Stock them up, use them as extra on the weekends. It is absolutely game changing. One thing I will say is this isn't something that I recommend you use every single week because, like I said, I don't want you to guys to fall into a pattern of chronically under eating every single week during the week and then going crazy on the weekends because that can foster a bit of an unhealthy relationship with food. However, this is an excellent thing that you can have in your toolkit to use when you do have that occasional meal out and you know that you're going to have more calories than normal. What I would also say is the day of the event, so let's say you're going out for dinner on that Saturday, try not to just save your calories all day where possible, or try not to do that too often. Because again, you're going to be starving hungry all day. You'll get to the meal in the evening and you're going to be absolutely starving. We want to make sure that you're still fueling yourself as well as possible. So I would just focus on keeping your meals lighter that day, just not non-existent. I would reduce the carbs down a bit, reduce the fats down a bit. I would keep the protein up. I would have loads of fruit and veg on my plate. And I would try and just keep them a bit lighter rather than thinking I'm just not going to eat all day and save it for the evening. I would try to avoid that where you can. So that's the first tip. And honestly, out of all of these tips, I would say this is the most game changing, and that's why it's first, because it really does help you to reduce anxiety around social events, to feel really in control with your food, and just be organized and just be ready and be able to take those meals out in your stride. So that's the first thing, and that's the most important one, in my opinion. The second thing, which leads on from this, start to get into the habit of where you can, picking from the menu ahead of time. I know there are going to be situations where you are going to have spontaneous meals out. I'm going to talk about that a bit more later down in the call. But where you can, when you have meals that you know about, look at the menu online and pick something. If there's calorie info, fantastic. That is super easy for you to pre-pick and pre-track your meal ahead of time. And pre-tracking with your meals out really helps. Picking something ahead of time, banking it into your calories already, and then being able to plan the rest of your week around it. If there isn't calorie info, that's not a stress. What you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to just give you a bit of a guess, either from the menu, from what you've seen, or you can send it a picture of the meal when you're in the restaurant, maybe. Just snap a quick picture and then think, when I get home later, I will type it into ChatGPT and ask, can you just give me a rough calorie guess on this? That also really helps. It's not going to be perfect, but it does give a pretty good guess. This is really, really helpful. When you are trying to lose weight and going out, I would recommend trying to pick something from the menu that is a high protein source as much as possible where you can. Obviously, if you're going somewhere like an Italian restaurant, that's going to be harder because it is carb city, it's pizza, it's pasta. But where you can, try to pick something with a lot of protein, add lots of fruit or add lots of veg to the meal for volume and for bigger meals. So you feel like you're having a bigger portion. Just be wary of things when you're going out. The things that are going to kind of have the most sort of sneaky calories are if something's cooked in a lot of oil, if something's fried, if there's a lot of butter, and if there's really heavy, thick, kind of creamy sauces. Those are the things to think about. Those things you can always ask for dressing on the side or sauce on the side, or maybe going for something that's grilled rather than fried, trying to pick something that's high protein. If something is really oily, really swimming in oil, maybe I dodge that and go for something else. And the rule of two when you're picking stuff from the menu is also a really good thing to think about. So, out of starters, main, desserts, and drinks, by drinks, I mean like alcoholic drinks that tend to be high calorie, have a rule of two and pick two of them. So, either pick, okay, this meal that I'm going out to, I'm going to set myself the guideline and the boundary of having a starter and a main, or a main and a dessert, or a main and a couple of alcoholic drinks of my choice. When you're trying to lose weight, again, and I'm going to stress this when you're trying to lose weight, this isn't a forever thing. This is just with the goal that you guys have at the moment. Going with that rule of two, maybe dodging those foods that are very heavy calories just for now, looking ahead at the menu, picking something. These things, again, is about organization, being prepared ahead of time, and just being as prepped for it as much as possible. Preparation and planning now creates freedom, flexibility, and much less stress when it actually comes to the event. And that's why it's so important. If you are going out somewhere and you're looking at the menu and you're like, good Lord, I have no idea what to pick, just drop me or Adam a message and just say, hey, like, I'm going out somewhere. I don't know what to pick. Can you help me? Loads of you guys do that already, which is amazing. All of you can do that as and whenever you need. Number three, alcohol. Just being wary of alcohol. Alcohol has a lot of liquid calories. Not all of it. The things that have the biggest calories and the highest calories are cocktails, wine, and beer. Those are the things you need to be really aware of because they are high sugar, high calorie. When it comes to alcohol and meals out and alcohol generally in this process, in this program, it is absolutely not off limits. I hope you guys know this by now. We're not coaches that encourage restriction, encourage you to be totally miserable and give up everything you love. It's absolutely not. It's just about with alcohol, you just need to be aware of the impact that it will have on your progress if you have it regularly. If you have the odd drink here and there, even if you have like one glass on the weekend, it's not going to do much to affect your progress. It's just if we're drinking regularly, then it is going to slow down your progress. There's a couple of different reasons why. First one being that at the end of the day, alcohol is a toxin, it is a poison. When it's in your system, your body, your liver is going to prioritize wanting to get rid of that out of your system, and it's not going to prioritize fat loss as much as compared to if you had no alcohol in your system. So that's one reason why. Second reason is it really affects your deep sleep. You know this, like hangover, some of it's to do with the alcohol in your system, a lot of it's to do with just being crazy tired and crazy dehydrated. It affects your deep sleep. And as a result, when we're not getting enough sleep, when we're not getting good quality sleep, or if we are not sleeping deeply, that also has a big impact on the scales. It has a big impact on your fat loss progress as well. I'm not saying this to freak you guys out about alcohol, to tell you like alcohol's the devil and you can't have it. Absolutely not. It's just be aware of it. So when it comes to your meals out, when you're trying to lose weight, make sure you up your water intake first of all. So if you're going to have a couple of drinks when you're going out, up the water so that you're as hydrated as possible. Set a drink limit before the event and uphold that boundary. Before you go, set the intention and say, okay, at this event, I'm going to have high calorie food. I'm going to say that I'm going to have two drinks, and two drinks is going to be my cap, or three drinks is going to be my cap. You might be someone that thinks, actually, I'm just not going to drink during this time because it's going to make things so much easier for me. That's also totally fine. You've got to do what you want to do. If you're someone that really enjoys to have a drink, you enjoy alcohol, you can absolutely still have it. It's just, I would never lie to you and say, yes, you can drink every day and you can drink loads on the weekends and you'll still make great progress. It will slow it down a bit. There's room for it. It's just like anything. We need to have a strategy with it. We need to have boundaries with it. Smart swaps that are lower calorie are spirits, diet mixers. They are really good things to think of compared to wine and beer just because they're a lot less calories. You can save more calories for food when you're out. Also, randomly, champagne is really low calorie. So if you guys are having a special occasion, 4 glasses of champagne is the same equivalent calorie wise as a glass of white wine, I'm pretty sure, one glass. So that's also a really good thing to think about, and it's a nice thing to have on a special occasion. If you do have alcohol, track it. Don't feel like you need to be embarrassed. You can't track it. You think we're going to judge you for having alcohol. We're absolutely not. Like, no way. But if you do, just track it and allow some calories for it. And just be aware of the impact it might have on sleep and be aware of the impact it might have on the scales and on fat loss if you're drinking regularly. Just be mindful of it. Next thing, tip number 4, just start to be prepared and really focus on preparing as much as you can for them. No one wants to create a plan on the night out or when you're at the restaurant or at the meal. Of course you don't. You're not going to sit there and think, okay, right, now I'm going to go over my strategy. Like, there's absolutely no way that you're going to do that. No one wants to do that. And that's why often when it comes to these events, if we don't plan before, we get tempted to hit the effort button. We think, oh God, well, I'm going to go over my calories. What's the point? I'll just blow over and I'll just go for it and I'll just eat everything and then just let that run into the whole weekend. That's often because we don't have a strategy, we don't have a strategy in place. So, as much as you can, when you have a meal out or an event that you know about, you need to prepare prior to the event. So, I want you to start asking yourselves these 3 questions. What is the main priority for me at this event or on this weekend or whatever it is that I'm doing? Do I want to continue the progress that I've been making 100%? Is losing weight, seeing progress, the absolute top priority for me right now? Or is it that I'd like to have a mix of both? I can relax a bit, I can still keep some things in place. I'll have flexibility on the night, but I'll focus on maintaining my progress rather than losing weight or aggressively pushing for fat loss. Or is it the third question? Do I just want to totally come off plan for this event? Do I just want to loosen the reins a bit, have a good time, not worry about it, and then just get back to it when I get back? You might feel that way if you've got something coming up. Like, I know a lot of you guys have had hen dos and stuff coming up recently. My hen do is in a month. I'm going to another hen do this weekend. Like, I'm going to come off plan for that. I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy that. That might be you. You might be going to a wedding or it might be birthday or something. And if you just think, you know what? I actually just want to relax and enjoy and not worry about this process for a couple of days, that's also okay. Whichever one of these 3 that you pick is fine. You just need to be okay with the outcome. You just need to be comfortable with the outcome and accept that. So, if the goal for you is progress and making progress and losing weight no matter what, this is the sacrifice and this is what you'll have to commit to. Minimal to no drinking. You'll have to get an early night. You'll probably have to leave the event early. You'll have to calorie bank ahead of time. You have to pick the food that you're going to have before you're going to go out. That's the payoff. If you want to halt progress and just say, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy the weekend or I'm just going to enjoy this event and not worry about that, you're going to go all in. The outcome of that is that you won't make progress on the scales that week. That's also okay. If you want a mixture of both, if you want to focus on maintenance, you're like, yes, I want to loosen the reins and enjoy a bit, but I also don't want to completely come out of this process, which is what I'd always recommend. Mixture of both for you is therefore maintenance. So you're going to have a limit on drinks. You can have a bit more drinks, a few more drinks compared to if you were just focusing on progress, but alternate it with water. You probably will have to do a little bit of calorie banking still, but not quite as aggressive as if you were focusing on pushing for fat loss. You can allow yourself a few more calories in the evening. Plan something active for the next day so that you can have the event, enjoy, but then just really commit to getting straight back on track within 24 hours. Either of these three is absolutely fine. You've just got to be really honest with yourself and think about what the priority is for you. And don't say one thing and do another, because saying one thing and doing another thing is what makes you feel a bit crap, is what makes you feel guilty and what brings on that guilt or that shame. There's never going to be any guilt or shame from me and Adam, but doing one thing and doing it, like saying one thing and doing another, sorry, is what creates that guilt within yourself and creates that shame. So just be really honest. You might say, oh, I actually really want to lose weight no matter what, but actually really deep down, you know what? I just want to go and I just want to have a fun time and want to not think about this process for a couple of days. That's okay. Just be really honest about it. And there's no right or wrong here. Obviously, if you were every weekend being like, nah, I'm coming away from this process and I'm just going to focus on enjoying, if you did that every weekend, then yes, of course, there'll be a problem. But every now and then, it's no issue. Like I said, I'm going to do the same when I'm getting married legally next Friday, when I've got my hen due in June and all that sort of stuff. I'll be doing that then and I won't feel guilty about that. Next thing, do not activate the effort button. Like I said, what can often happen is when we don't go into these events, when we're trying to lose weight with a plan, we feel guilty, we feel shame, we got stuck in that cycle, and then the effort button activates, and we just come away from this process and we let one day off plan become a whole week off plan. One day off plan is going to do nothing to impact your progress. I will always keep saying this to you guys because it's really true. Letting one day turn off into an off week will affect your progress. So if this happens, if you have a meal where you've gone way over your calories, you weren't able to plan for it, it was spontaneous, for example, do not let that turn into 48 hours or 72 hours like that. Just commit to getting back on it the next day. The resilience and the bouncing back quick is the thing that brings the result and is the thing that helps. One day where you feel like you've maybe messed things up isn't going to do much to affect your progress at all. You've got to not dwell in the past if this happens. You've got to keep looking to the future. Do not dwell. Do not think, oh God, I'm such a terrible person. I feel awful about what I've done. I wish I hadn't done that. Sometimes things happen, life happens, mistakes happen. It's okay. You're allowed to make mistakes. Don't dwell on it. Keep looking to the future and stick to that 24-hour rule. Do not let a bad 24 hours go longer than 24 hours. Commit to within 24 hours of something going wrong, of making a mistake. Within 24 hours, you are back on it. You are back on plan, trying to remove the emotion as much as possible, and you are just carrying on. One thing I want to really make clear as well is just remember that tackling social events in this way, calorie banking, organizing for them ahead of time, just remember that this is not a forever thing. Tracking is what needs to be done if you're looking to really push for weight loss or if you're really looking to push for weight gain. Every other time of your life, you don't need to track your calories. You don't need to tackle your social events in this way. It's an educational tool to get you to learn where your limits are. And as you guys will probably already know this, it is super easy to come out of a calorie deficit. It's hard to stay in one sometimes, but it's really easy to go over and come out of one. That is why tracking has to be there. Tracking is the only thing that works. People say stuff online saying like tracking doesn't work and buy my method instead. It's not true. It has to be, you need to know for a fact that you're in a calorie deficit. But just know for a fact that this isn't always going to be your reality. You're not always going to have to tackle events like this. This is just until you get to your goal, get an incredible transformation, then the gears shift. Then you're not tracking everything. But it's about just acknowledging this is a season and it's not for everything. You don't have to sacrifice absolutely everything, but when you are trying to lose weight, particularly, or gain weight, there does have to be some elements of sacrifice to achieve this current goal that you have. So, no, you don't have to sit in your house and never see your friends and never do anything. But the sacrifice that you might have to make is you might have to look at the menu ahead of time and pick something high protein. You might have to say no to getting a dessert sometimes. You might have to cut out the booze for a bit. It's not a forever thing, and it's to get you to your goal as fast as possible. And then once you get there, after this season, you go back to normal life and you get more flexibility. So it's always good to just remember that you're not suddenly doing this forever now. The other thing I want to touch on here is just like the opinions of friends, family, close, like loved ones. I know very often there can be some nerves about heading out for food because you're worried if maybe people aren't going to understand that you're on a weight loss journey right now. Maybe they're not going to get it. Maybe there's going to be judgment there. Maybe there's going to be pressure and people are going to say like, "Oh, please have a drink with me," or like, "Please have a dessert," like, "Please join in with me and have this." I understand that, but as much as you can, I know sometimes it's easy said and done. You've got to try and let the opinions of others not affect you and not affect your journey. The same way that you're not responsible for other people and you're not responsible for how other people behave and what other people do, and you're not responsible for their lives, in the same way, you're not responsible for them either, and they're not responsible for you. You're on your own journey, you're on your own weight loss journey, and it is yours. So you've got to take charge of that and you've got to set boundaries. Accept that you are maybe in a different place to a lot of your friends and family right now losing weight, and that's okay. Learn to say no sometimes. If someone says, "Oh, would you like a dessert?" and you know that it's going to push you over your calories, you know you've had your calories for the day, sometimes you are just going to have to accept that you're going to say no to them sometimes and say yes to yourself. That doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you a bad person. People aren't going to judge you. And if people did judge you or have a kind of a negative thing to say about that, I would argue maybe they're not friends of yours, or maybe they don't understand, or maybe there's something within them that's making them feel a type of way and it's actually nothing to do with you. The people that matter don't mind, the people that mind don't matter. So what I'm trying to say here without waffling on too much is the people that are closest to you and that love you, will understand the journey that you're on. They will accept it. A lot of the time, we need to let people into our journey and we need to let people know what we're going through. Like if I'm in a calorie deficit, if I'm going out for dinner with someone, I will tell them, I'll say like, absolutely want to come out for dinner. Just to let you know, I'm losing weight at the moment, so I'm not going to drink at this meal. I'm probably not going to have dessert. I'm just letting you know this because, like, if you want to have a dessert, that's absolutely fine. Just please don't tempt me with it because I've got such a big sweet tooth, big sweet tooth. So sometimes I say to people, like, I don't have the calories to spare, like, I'm not going to have a dessert at this meal. Please don't tempt me because I will get tempted and I want to lock in and I want to get this done as fast as possible. Sometimes it's about just letting people in. Every time I've done that with my friends and my family have been like, yeah, absolutely fine. Like, no worries. I get that. Sometimes it's about letting people into that journey and letting them know what your goals are and letting what your intentions are. And that automatically reduces a lot of pressure and a lot of anxiety about social events as well. Help them manage the expectations, let them in. Maybe if someone wants to meet up with you and says, like, hey, can we go out for dinner? Maybe you could say, I would love to see you. Could we grab coffee instead and go on a walk? Or could we do something else? But could we do something else that maybe doesn't revolve around food? Because I'm trying to lose weight at the moment and it would really be beneficial to me. Try not to let the opinions of others stop you and stop you from what you're doing. Try to focus on your own journey and let people into it. Let the people close to you in on the journey and like say it with pride as well. Be like, yeah, I've got a coach at the moment. I'm in a program. Like I'm looking to lose however much it is, 20 kg, 30 kg, 10 kg, whatever it might be. I'm looking to lose that and I'm kind of locked in at the moment. People will really respect it as well. So it's just something I wanted to make really clear because I know that sometimes we can really worry about that. Next thing as well, kind of last point here, is with the event and with the meal out, stay active around the event where you can. You don't need to punish yourself with exercise. Exercise isn't punishment and it isn't a tool of punishment. You don't need to suddenly go and run on the treadmill for 3 hours the next day if you go out for a roast dinner. But a little bit of extra movement will really help you physically and it will really help you mentally around these times as well. So, some examples of what you can do. Maybe get a few extra steps in on that day when you're going out for dinner. Maybe go for a walk after the meal. I've done that before with my friend. Actually, I went for dinner with my friend the other day, and he's trying to lose weight. We went out for dinner, and then he was like, "Can we go on a walk after this meal?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course we can." We went round for a walk afterwards, because he was trying to hit his step goal. He got a few extra in. That's something that you can do. Keep your workouts really consistent. Nail your workouts. Other things that you can do, like if you're going to a restaurant, for example, rather than taking the lift, take the stairs. park slightly further away from the restaurant. So you just get your steps up a bit more to and from the restaurant and walk it off after a big meal. This really helps you. Yes, of course, it's going to help you a little bit physically, but mentally, it just really helps because you still feel like you're ticking some things off. You're making some progress. You're doing what you can. You're coming from it with an abundant mindset. Final thing here really is what if this is an unplanned meal? Because I'm sure you're thinking, this is all very well and good, Zoe, but what if my partner comes up to me on a Saturday and goes, Surprise, I'm taking you out for a dinner. I can't do any of this. You're absolutely right. All you have to do is reverse engineer the process. So rather than doing this stuff before the meal because you don't know about it, instead, go out for the meal, try and pick those choices where you can if you're trying to lose weight, like picking something high protein, trying to avoid anything like really heavily fried or covered in sauce or anything like that. Afterwards, track it. Either if you've got the calorie info, great, ask ChatGPT. If you're over, do a little bit of like reverse calorie banking. So think, oh, okay, I went out for dinner yesterday, it was unplanned. I'm over by like 400 calories. What I would then personally do is I would scale back by 100 for the next couple of days to then kind of balance me out for the week and mellow me out. And then you'll have an even bigger drop towards the end of the week there. Reverse engineering it and using those tools that I've given you and then actually using them in reverse, it works the same way and it helps if you have something unplanned. But do not panic or do not let an unplanned meal just throw you off your game either. Keep calm and carry on and really try to have that abundant mindset. Rather than thinking one mistake means it's over, it's done for you, you're not going to make progress. Think, oh, okay, that happened, that wasn't ideal. I'm a bit over my calories. I've definitely made a bit of an error there. I'm just going to carry on as normal today. I'm going to use the tools that I've taken from this call. What can I do to just keep myself back on track? So here's what I want you to remember as we wrap up this call. Fat loss should not make you avoid your life, fear food, fear going out, or constantly stress. A good fat loss program is one that helps you with these things. Instead, what you want to be focusing on is that you are learning balance, you are learning food awareness, you are learning moderation, and you are learning consistency, which is often the hardest part. This is what is actually going to create long-term results. That one meal over your calories is not going to do much to impact your progress. Making a mistake here and there is going to do nothing. Focusing on that long-term goal, learning about trying to be coming at this place, I'm coming at this from a calm place, an abundant place where you take things in your stride, you don't let mistakes completely derail you. You take these tools and you use them where you can. All of this stuff is actually going to get you an incredible result and is going to really help you. And also just help you to enjoy this process more. You're not going to feel so stressed out. You're not going to feel so overwhelmed. It's going to feel more manageable. So, this is everything I wanted to talk about this week. I hope this has been really helpful. This is literally the step by step that you can take to help you not only go out and live your life, but still make great progress. These are things that I want you guys to really start thinking about when it comes to planning for meals out and starting to use these and thinking that they're in a little toolkit in your mind that you can just take and you can use. If you have any questions, message me. In the future, going forward, if you guys have meals out or events coming up or trips away on the weekend and you think, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to plan them, message me, message Adam, and we will talk you through this toolkit and we'll make a plan for you and you specifically that works. So you know where I am if you need any questions. What I want you to do now, those of you that have come to the school live, go into your group chats, either for the guys or the girls, post a hashtag mindset just with your biggest takeaway from the call, either something that has been game changing for you that you've learned in this call or like a personal anecdote or something like that. But that is everything for this week. Great to see so many of you live. Ask me any questions that you need, and if you stick to this stuff, it will work super, super well. Well done for tonight, team. I hope to see you, lots of you, on the masterclass tomorrow. I hope to see you there. I will catch up with you all really soon.